Hello everybody, I hope you all are doing really great. So as you know that the GATE exam has been conducted on Sunday, that is 5 Feb. So here are some of the important questions that were asked in GATE 2023 exam, and the first question was, it was a bright cold day in April and the clocks were striking 13. So these were the starting lines of the novel 1984, which was written by George Orwell and was published in 1949. And the second question was, it was also the starting lines from the novel. It is a truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a good fortune must be in want of a wife. And these were the lines from the most popular book Pride and Prejudice, written by Jane Austen, which was published in 1813. Okay, so the third question was, the novel Old Curiosity Shop was written by Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens is a most important novelist. Question number fourth was, the novel Middlemarch was written by this was written by George Eliot. Question fifth was, the terms fantasy, primary imagination and secondary imagination were first used by. So as you all know, these were used by the Samuel Taylor Coleridge, right? Question number 6 was, who translated Derrida's Of Grammatology? So Derrida's Of Grammatology was translated by Gayatri Chakravorty Spivak. Question number 7 was, which theorists were associated with post-structuralism? Post-structuralism theorists were Derrida, Paul de Man, J.H. Miller. And question number 8 was, how many books of Paradise Lost were added in 1674 edition? As you all know, there are total 12 books, but first the 10 books were written, then 2 books were added, so the total were 12 books only. So Paradise Lost was written by John Milton. Question number 9 was, the term chutneyfication was coined by one and only Salman Rushdie. So chutneyfication has been derived from two words, chutney plus fiction. So he used this term in his novel Midnight's Children, which was published in 1981. Question number 10 was, Songs of Myself was published in which collection? This is the most famous collection of Walt Whitman, named Leaves of Grass, and which was published in 1855. The novel Beljour was written by Sylvia Plath. And you know what? The Beljour is a semi-autobiographical novel. Question number 12 was, which novel of James Joyce included the elements of autobiography? A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. This was published in 1916. And this novel, A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man, is a shortened rewrite of the abundant novel Stephen Hero. Sometimes it is also known as the Bildungsroman novel, a kind of coming of age novel. Stephen Dadless. Next question was, Stephen Dadless is the character of James Joyce novel named A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man again. Question number 14 was, the theme of partition was shown in which novels of Amitav Ghosh? The Shadow Lines, which was published in 1988. Next question was, who were known as lake poets? Who were known as lake poets? As you all know, William Wordsworth, S.T. Coleridge and Robert Southey were known as lake poets. And you should also have known about what are lake poets. Lake poets are a group of English poets who lived in the Lake District of England, UK, in the first half of the 19th century. Okay. And Francis Jaffrey made fun of the poets and called them Lakers. And he called them Lakers in Edinburgh Review. Keep that in mind. Even Thomas D. Quincy was also the lake poet as well. Question number 16 was Lang and Parole. These linguistic terms was given by Ferdinand de Saussure in his work Course in General Linguistics. And these terms, Lang and Parole, Lang means language, Parole means speech. Keep these terms in mind. Question number 17 was which work by James Joyce uses the device interior monologue? The interior monologue device was used in the work Ulysses, which was published in 1922. And interior monologue means a type of monologue that exhibits the thoughts, feelings, and associations passing through a character's mind. Next question was which writers belong to Theatre of Absurd? There were many writers who belong to the Theatre of Absurd. As you can see, Martin Esslin, who coined the term Theatre of Absurd. Albert Camus' famous work was The Myth of Sisyphus. Samuel Beckett's famous work was Waiting for Godot. Eugene Ionesco, Jean Genet, Harold Pinter, they all belong to the Theatre of Absurd category. The Theatre of Absurd is a post-World War II designation, and these include the European playwrights in the late 1950s. Okay, and these plays, these writers generally focuses on the ideas of existentialism and expresses what happens when human existence lacks meanings or purpose and communication breakdown. Next question was the introduction of Gitanjali was given by William Butler Yeats. Next was which age is called Age of Reasons? One and only neoclassical age, or it is also called the Enlightenment age. Okay. Next question was who are the major metaphysical poets? As you can see, I have written poets here: Abraham Cowley, John Donne, John Cleveland, George Herbert, Henry Vaughan, Andrew Marvell, Richard Crashaw. These all were metaphysical poets, and you should have known about metaphysical poets as well. Metaphysical poets, the term was given by Samuel Johnson to describe a loose group of 17th century English poets whose work was characterized by the inventive use of conceits. They generally use in their works conceits. Conceits are the far-fetched comparisons. Next question was the Second Coming novel by W.B. Yeats. Its title is taken from which work? The title was taken from one and only Things Fall Apart, which was written by Chinua Achebe. She was the Nigerian writer. Next question was in which work these lines are written? Poets have no place in an ideal state. Plato's Republic. Next question, the plot of Hayavadana by Girish Karnad is based on Kathasagra and Thomas Mann's retelling of Transposed Heads. Next question, which novels contain the device of magic realism? So many novels contain the device of magic realism. Here are the two most important novels: Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie Thin Drum by Gunter Grass, 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, Beloved by Toni Morrison. Okay. Next question was, which two novels were written by women under their pseudonyms? Middlemarch by Mary Ann Evans under the pseudonym George Eliot, Mansfield Park by Jane Austen under the pseudonym Thomas Egerton. I hope you are getting the questions. Question number 27 was, the concept of language of paradox was written by Clent Brooks. Next question was, what is closet drama? Closet drama is a play to be read rather than acted. And the examples are John Milton's Samson Agonistus, which was published in 1671, Thomas Hardy's The Dianists, which has 3 parts, 1903 to 1908. Next question was, there were some lines given and you have to identify these lines are from which poem. These lines were, he was founded by the Bureau of Statistics to be one against whom there were no official complaint, and all the reports of his conduct agree that, in the modern sense of the old-fashioned word, he was a saint, for in everything he did, he served the greater community. You have to study all the starting lines of the best novels, best poetries. Okay, and these lines were from the poem The Unknown Citizen by W.H. Auden, which was published in 1940. Next question was, smug and mortal are examples of? These were examples of blending. As blending means in which parts of multiple words are combined into a new word. As you can see, I have written here smug and mortal. Smug is composed of 2 words, smoke plus fog. The same way, mortal is composed of 2 words, motor plus hotel. Okay. Next question was, who claimed poetry makes nothing happen? W.H. Auden claimed poetry makes nothing happen. Confessions is an autobiography written by Saint Augustine, and this work consists of 13 books. It was written in Latin, and it was also called the first Western Christian autobiography ever written. Keep these lines in your mind. Next question was, timorous foe and suspicious friend are examples of which figure of speech? I have a doubt here, but I think it's antithesis. I am doubting it with oxymoron as well. But still, just recheck this. I won't recheck this question again. Is it antithesis or oxymoron? I am not sure, but I think it's antithesis, because antithesis literal meaning is opposite, and it is a rhetorical device in which 2 opposite ideas are put together in a sentence to achieve a contrasting effect. And here as I can see, foe and friend, these are also opposite ideas, but as we can see, an oxymoron is a speech that juxtaposes elements that appear to be contrary. I don't have any proper idea about this, but let's see what happens when answer key will be out. Next question was, Simulacra and Simulation is a book by Jean Baudrillard. Next question was, the idea of hubris is found in Aristotle's Rhetoric. And the next question was, these were also the lines from the poem. Put away this dream and search for certain thing These are the starting lines of the poem. Stemmed, bubble-eyed water bugs, see them perch on dry capillary legs, weightless on the ripple skin of a stream. So these lines are taken from the poem The Striders, written by A.K. Ramanujan. And the next question was example of postmodern literature. I didn't remember the question, but I think this was like this postmodern narrative, like something. So example is Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. I hope you got these questions. Tell me in the comment sections how many questions you got right. And stay tuned. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.